Welcome back, guys. Okay, so we are going to continue with Brian in his high school years. Just a
The start of it.
warning, this could be triggering for people. I am not sure what's going to come out of his mouth.
If you're offended or triggered easily, turn off the TV.
But if you do like what you hear and you're interested, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. We're doing this just to bring awareness. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. We'll answer them as best as possible.
In the comments, don't show up at my house or anything.
In the comments. We'll try to help as possible. And like we said, we're just trying to soften the stigma on mental health, especially for men. It seems to be where mental health with men just people don't want to hear it. It's supposed to be suck it up and deal with it. And we're trying to shine a light that that's not the case.
Especially back when this all started.
Right. And figuring if he would have gotten the help sooner, then maybe things would have been a little different for him. All right. Anyway, back to high school. The good old days.
I don't think we started high school yet. Wasn't I still in 8th grade?
We just finished 8th grade. You're going into high school now.
Oh, okay.
So you're starting your freshman year.
Yeah, so now I'm at the point where, you're at that age where whatever happens to be in style or what you think's in style is what you're going to wear. Or when you're trying to fit in or be cool or whatever it is. So this was 85. I'm a metalhead, but I wasn't into metal yet. I was probably listening to some of the stuff that my brother listened to, Rush, stuff like that. But a lot of it was sitting there with the boombox or whatever I had in my room listening, which was, Prince and I don't even know who else was freaking big in 85. I don't know. I don't even know if he was.
Yeah, probably.
Little red Corvette or something. I don't know. But apparently somebody on TV or somewhere was wearing suspenders. And I thought, well, here's a fashion statement. So.
No, it's not.
Well, it is. It's just not a good statement.
I think the only person who was able to pull off suspenders was Urkel. I can't think of anyone else.
Oh, my freshman year, I pulled it off. I almost smacked somebody right in the face.
I mean, stop and think about. Go back. Can you think of anyone who? Yes, there is another one. The grandpa on the Waltons. He wore suspenders. They're the only two I can think of.
Did Sanford from Sanford and Son? Did he wear them?
Probably. Do you see a pattern here? None of them are like fashion icons.
Larry King.
None of them are fashion icons.
I didn't see any of those guys. I don't know, maybe Talking Heads, the Eurythmics, I don't know, somebody somewhere had suspenders on. So I had the white Reebok, so I'd hung up the Buster Browns at this point, probably by the end of 7th grade, I think. So I was wearing the high top Reeboks with the Velcro top, and I think they're called Classics now, and they probably cost $300. So I think I had them gray, some kind of gray pants, a white and gray striped button-down shirt, and like maybe white and gray suspenders. I don't know. Apparently I didn't know anything about, even though I'm an artist, I didn't know anything about contrasting colors or anything. I just went completely monochromatic with the gray.
Obviously, he didn't know nothing about style either, but go ahead.
Still don't. As you can see, I'm wearing a Mickey Mouse baseball jersey.
Hey, now we will not discuss the mouse.
Anyway, That was the first day of ninth grade, and probably the first and last time I wore suspenders because when you go into high school, you enter this large area where they have like a spot that like steps down and you could sit in and just chill, and then the hallways break off from there.
Right.
I guess a common area or whatever they call it. And you were waiting there for to find out where the hell you were supposed to go. Just got off the bus.
So you had like a neon light on you.
Not yet. Not until well, no, I don't even think anybody noticed because I was just sitting there like, with my trapper keeper and.
Is there a chance that they thought you were like a foreign exchange student?
No, I don't think so. But I was bored, so I did the whole pulled the suspenders out, and the one just shit whipped right behind me and went flying. I did the awkward look around. Nobody was like laughing or anything. I clipped it back on, and then got home that evening after school, and they went in a drawer of the trash and were never seen again with the other 3 pair that I had bought and never wore.
You bought 3 pairs. So you consciously bought them. 4 pair. Wow.
Well, yeah, I had to have them with the other clothes that I was going to wear.
Wow.
Yeah, so
That is sad.
apparently I thought that was in.
I'm going to have to do my homework. I'm going to have to look in like the 1984, 85 era to see who was wearing suspenders.
If anybody.
Yeah, I don't.
I swear if you Google it and it's a picture of me, I'm going to be pissed.
Look what this dumbass wore the freshman year.
The only idiot we could find was him.
Look what this idiot thought was cool to wear freshman year at high school.
I don't know. I've Googled my name plenty of times. That's never come up. It's usually just art stuff.
So how was freshman year for you?
Again, awkward, uncomfortable. Just, but it was better than, elementary and middle school.
Okay.
Because now they have, besides sitting in my room drawing, or, when I was 7, 8, 9, I used to set up a little table out front of my house, and because the kids in the neighborhood liked the drawings, and I would sell them for a nickel or a dime or a quarter. I mean, I think they were construction paper, crayon stuff, but maybe they closely resembled something. I would just take the money and either go to McDonald's or the candy store. They used to have stores where you could walk in and buy candy, and we had one around the corner. Or go get a Happy Meal or something like that. So they have a legit art class, so I had signed up for that. I also had a mechanical drawing class, and drawing, blueprints.
I had one of them in 8th grade. I hated it.
I mean, me drawing, and I was already into, mechanical stuff and working on bikes and mini bikes and stuff like that. So, but that within a couple of months, they took me from there and then they put me in the advanced architecture program where they would take like, I don't know, a couple of kids each year, and usually they were seniors. They put me in there.
Just for the record, he is very artistic. It's one of the many pet peeves he has. I can't draw a straight line, and he's very artistic.
Sorry.
As you should be. Go ahead.
So, I mean, those classes were great, and I like, history, science, English. I couldn't care less. I knew how to read, write, and speak it. I didn't need to know how to diagram a sentence or write out a proper paragraph or any of that crap. It just didn't interest me. I don't know what a adverb is now. I didn't know then, and I don't know now. I have no idea. Don't know what a conjunction. I don't know how to put a proper sentence on paper. You wouldn't be able to read my writing right now if you tried, and I'm sure you know that.
Noted.
Just didn't care. Everything else was cool. But English class, that freshman year is where I ended up meeting my best friend for pretty much, from then until now. Reading a hot rod magazine. He was into cars. He was more into like the newer style cars, where I was into like the 40s, 50s hot rods, and the 57 Chevys and Chevelles and Novas and stuff like that. So we got talking over cars, and then just went from there. So freshman year was pretty good. Nothing. I'd gotten into some fights in 8th grade at the end. When I say fights, I mean you're rolling around in the dirt. Like, nobody got punched. It was like, I don't even know how to explain
No,
it.
I get what you're saying.
Just, not like you see now. A couple of them. So it was more out of just somebody saying something and me thinking, well, this is going to start again, so I'm just going to jump on them and go from there. So I didn't have any problems with anybody really my freshman year. I wanted to go to Vote Tech, but you couldn't your freshman year. You had to wait until your sophomore year.
Right.
Which I ended up going, but I did join wrestling.
How did that go for you?
Horribly. I sucked. Yeah.
But you stuck with it.
I sucked with it?
I said you stuck with it.
Both. Now, actually, the one year, I don't know if it was my freshman year, I quit halfway through and then came back my sophomore year. I think that's how it happened. Or I quit halfway through my no, I don't remember. I didn't do 2 whole years. It was like a year and a half. I quit like halfway through because I was just sick of losing. Might have been my sophomore year that I was 0-13.
At least you were consistent.
Yeah, most of my matches were over in less than a minute. I did make it to twice. I made it to the second round. No, I'm lying. Once. That was my freshman year, and that was the last time my mom ever came to watch me. Because if you know anything about, I don't know if that's called freestyle or Greco-Roman, whatever it is. So as long as your back isn't flat touching the mat, you're fine.
Yeah, you're not down.
You're not. You're getting the other person's getting points, but you're not pinned. So what we did in practice a lot was bridging, which is going up on your heels and the back of your head and arching up. So that's the only thing touching the ground, and it's to strengthen your neck. Or you go on your forehead and your toes. So this kid was trying to pin me, and I was able to keep, the back of my head and my heels on the mat and like my elbows and stay off of it for the entire 3, because he got me like that right from the beginning. So for the entire 2 or 3 minutes, I forget how long they are, I was bridged up like that. And my mom thought, he's like jumping up and down. She's thinking my neck's going to snap.
Snap, yeah.
And so she's like, I can't watch that anymore. I'm like, well, don't worry, because I won't be in that many matches. So you
To make you happy, Mom, I'll just.
trust me. That's long for me. Most of them are over fairly quickly. I don't even remember most of them. I was 5'8", 130, so I was pretty
Scrawny.
scrawny. Yeah, very, very scrawny. So I was wrestling people. The one time, a kid from Glen Mills School was 189 pounds, and I was 130, and they were like, "Look, we can't make you wrestle him," but he just asked, "Would you?" Just I was like, "Yeah, I just want to wrestle. I don't care." And that was the one where they blow the whistle to start the match and they blow the whistle to stop it. Well, that match literally went. That's how, like, I remember, the only thing I remember are this dude's biceps.
They were probably the size of your thigh.
My head. Like, he literally just went, like, to set up like this. And I went, oh, yeah, this is.
This is not going to end in my favor at all.
And it was literally just that quick. Like, boom, he took me down, pinned me, boom. And he was cool as shit. Like, thank you for taking a match. I appreciate it. You all right? Like, and I'm like, yeah, I don't remember.
I don't know my name, but yeah, I'm fine.
I don't think you won. I don't remember wrestling you. And that's the one time where the varsity was watching and actually was like clapped and then all like high-fived me when I come over because like I had the balls to wrestle the dude. I was like, it's not balls. I was sick of practicing for weeks, getting my ass kicked in practice and never getting a chance to wrestle in an actual live match. Like, I got to wear this stupid singlet and these goofy shoes and this headgear for nothing week after week.
I want to get the girls to look at you.
No, they weren't.
Oh, well. I tried.
I don't remember too many girls coming to
Wrestling matches, really?
my memory sucks.
Right, yeah.
Maybe the stands were filled with them. And I was
just does not
paranoid, and
know.
that's why I got pinned. Let's go with that.
No.
I was distracted. But the only one I came close to, I don't want to say winning, but not getting destroyed was somebody you know.
Somebody I know.
Yeah, I told you his name before. And I think you lost to him.
So let's see. I'm assuming he was from my high school.
I could say, should I say his last name?
Yeah, you can.
Boyd?
Oh, well, no.
S.
Yeah, I would
S.
expect
Boyd.
you to lose to him, though.
Okay. That was close to where I actually did a move.
I'm not.
Hold on. All the other ones were me just somebody grabbing me, putting me on the mat, and pinning me. This one, we made it to where we had to do like an up and down position or something. And he had a hold of me, and I almost did what they call a switch and got turned around. But as I did the switch, he knew it was coming and put me down. And that was as close as I ever came to even competing in a match. I won't even say winning, just competing.
That had to be your sophomore year.
Yeah.
It had to be only because I know his age.
Okay.
He wrestled all 4 years, and I'm guessing only because I do know him. He was a really good wrestler.
I think it might have been a tournament at your high school.
So yeah, he was.
Because I know it was there. It wasn't at ours. It was at your school. But I think it was one of those weekend where they just have like
everybody there.
Like 4 or 5 local ones, not one of the major ones, but like the local. I've been to the major ones, but I just sit and watch because I was never good enough to even get on the mat.
Yeah, he
but that's as close as I came to actually pulling off a move that I had done in practice. Like I could do some of the stuff in practice, but when it came to getting in front of people,
That
I
all
I don't remember anything like stage fright, performance anxiety,
anxiety, yeah.
whatever you want to call it, like real bad. Like don't remember nothing. The only thing I remember from when I was bridging when my mom was watching was the lights. I don't remember anything else.
So that has a lot to probably do with the panic too and the anxiety, like not being like not wanting to be the center of attention.
If I could turn myself into like a piece of the wall and disappear, that would, that would have been optimum in school.
So anything else freshman year? How were your classes? Like you enjoyed your classes, most of them besides English?
Yeah, they were all, the architecture class was cool. And art, I think halfway through they wanted to bump me up into like the advanced program with like mostly seniors and stuff. And I was like, no. A lot of people talk about like that imposter syndrome where people will find out that you're not
As good as you thought you were when you're going to get.
like, or you're just, you know, you're a good artist. Oh, no, you're not. They found out. I don't want them to find out. And I mean, it's been 40 some years of art. So I guess if somebody was going to find out, they would have by now.
Probably.
But I still have that. Then freshman year was also my first. I know I word this one. Experience with a girl, but it was not what people would think.
Okay.
And she was a girl. So she was a senior. Obviously, I'm a freshman, and I'm pretty sure it was history class. And
You just had class together.
yeah, we'll get to all that. Trust me, everybody else knew but me. You know, a school of, I don't know, 1,500 kids. Well, 1,499 of them knew of this situation except for me.
No red flags got thrown up. She's a senior and she's in freshman history.
I'm 15 and horny. I didn't care.
That's sad, but go ahead, continue.
She could have been 35. I wouldn't have gave a crap.
That's sick.
That
but
probably would have
continue.
been better. Well, not for her, but anyway. So it started with the smiling and then the note passing. You know, to me, I didn't write. Like, I'm not writing. I don't know what to write. Like, leave me alone. I don't know. So then one day in the hall, she was like, started talking to me and, you want to hang out or you'd like to come over, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay. So she lived not that far from the school. I hung out a couple times. Her mom was there, obviously. I lived with her mom and her, we'll get to this part, little sister, who was about 2. So again, I'm having kids, some people that are, I'm cool with at that point in school, kind of like looking at me like they know something, but aren't going to say anything. And I wish I could remember who they are, go back and whoop their ass because it wasn't funny at all.
They're the kind of friends you don't need.
Yeah. But it's the kind of thing that I would have done.
Wow.
So I can't really fault them all that much because I would have done the same thing. So she fights me over one night that her mom's not going to be there. Now, again, I'm 15. I don't have a car. So my mom drops me off. She'll be back at 9:30, whatever, or 10:30. I don't, whatever time it was. So it goes from like flirting to kissing, which was like my first real, you know, kiss with a, I was going to say non-family member, but this isn't West Virginia. Just kidding. So, I mean, yeah, it was exciting and all. And then suddenly we're in her room and she's like, I don't know what happened. I don't remember. I didn't take her clothes off, but all of a sudden she's naked. And I have no idea what I'm looking at. I don't know what to do. I have no clue. And for the first time ever, I was happy to hear my mom's horn beeping out front. It was time to go. And I literally just like, oh, I got to go. And that was the last time I talked to her. So then I get to school on Monday. And I got like, you know, half the school, like,
Laughing at you?
not laughing, but like shaking their head. And then a couple of the dudes walked up and they're like, heard you couldn't close the deal. And I'm like, what? Apparently she had went since like Friday night or Saturday night, whatever night it was, and went and told everybody that we didn't. I mean, the first girl ever that went around and told everybody that they didn't have sex. Like every other girl would say they didn't, but you know what I mean?
Actually
like,
have sex. Yeah, I get what you're
but
saying.
they wouldn't have brought it up. They wouldn't even have talked about it.
Right.
This one went around and like flaunted it. Then I found out her little sister was her 2-year-old daughter from a much older man, like old enough to be her father, kind of older. So apparently everybody in, maybe not our town, but the other 3 towns all knew of her. And she also had like an ex-boyfriend who was a bit of a, or he may have been in jail or something. I don't know. She's just a complete train wreck. And I'm like, thanks for the heads up. Like, no problem, anytime.
Well, at least you dodged a bullet there.
Yeah, I mean, things could have really went horribly for me at 15 years old.
Yeah, they could have. All right,
So that was my first close to sexual experience.
Okay.
And pretty much the last one until about 2019, I think.
2019.
Oh, 89. 2019. Until I was 19.
Okay.
Mixed up the two, sorry.
It's okay.
It wasn't that long. It wasn't 30 years.
I was just going to ask if you can account for your children, but so
Oh, wait, they're not mine.
so freshman year, and you go into sophomore year. How was sophomore year?
Actually, sophomore was pretty good. I mean, I went to Votech for engine rebuilding. Gotta say, I didn't learn shit because we were all too busy getting high. And I mean, I think everybody went to engine rebuilding for that reason. Like, there wasn't one person in there that didn't smoke pot. Or, you know, a couple of them are doing acid. And, I mean, you're working around machinery. One dude chopped the end of his finger off. You know, some fights and crap like that. But not everybody was cool with me. And, you know, I went with 2 kids that I knew from town that were big car guys. Like I said, I don't remember learning anything, and I never went on to like actually do machinery stuff. I'd gone on to rebuild some engines as far as the top ends and modify them and stuff like that. But
In your personal vehicles.
yeah,
All right, so you
But
go.
and that I wrestled that year, and then I the friend that ended up becoming my best friend, I hadn't seen him really in my sophomore year probably because of wrestling and Votech and all that stuff. Because it was pretty much you left like at lunch to go to Votech, and then if you were in sports, you were coming home and literally just like grabbing your stuff and going back to
To
school
school.
for practice because wrestling practice was like 2 hours a night at least.
Okay.
So there wasn't a whole lot of free time to be doing anything else. So, I mean, I don't really remember. So that was what,
10th grade. It would have been 86,
86, 87?
87.
Yeah. By then, I was now into metal big time as far as music wise. So, and I had given up the whole trying to fit in and the clothes, and
The suspenders.
I gave them up the second day of school.
I'm just asking, we need clarification. They want to know.
No, but I just was over the whole, again, nobody's going to have a clue what I'm talking about except for you, and maybe a few older people with the Z Cavarici pants and
So, for
what
anyone who's wondering, their pants that come up like kind of high, they have
have like
three buttons,
three belts,
or yeah, belts.
like three belts that buckle, and then they go out. Just think of like New Kids on the Block.
Yeah.
Just Google them and look at their pants. Pretty much like that.
Okay.
Went out wide and then like
Tapered at the ankle.
like literally velcroed around your ankles, and then I had like these black and gold Nikes, and I don't even remember what the shirt was.
Thank God.
But anyway, I went jeans, t-shirts, pair of high top Nikes, jeans, whatever t-shirt I happened to have. The hair got parted down the middle and went long, and that was the end of that. The only other thing is, both of my ears were pierced, which back at that time there weren't too many people with,
Not both. No.
not too many guys with both. You were seen as a little, and I didn't give a crap because I just looked at it and went, "This looks stupid with one. I'm just getting them both done." And of course, my mom was like, "Great, I always wanted a daughter."
Long hair, pierced ears. Okay, so what?
Well, it gets worse than that if you want to go down that road because my hair was kind of flat or,
If you tell me you got a perm,
yeah, I got a body wave.
oh my!
And it like stuck permanently. So my hair just went wavy and fluffy and got real thick. And like girls would be pissed off at my hair because they wish their hair, like, especially at that time, if anybody wants to look up hair metal and the glam bands like Motley Crue and Poison and Cinderella, I could do that to my hair if I wanted to. I never did it. My hair looked more like Metallica and stuff like that. It was
Wait,
just,
Metallica by who? Like you had Kurt Hammett who had that beautiful curl.
no, just the long,
Oh.
scraggly,
Oh, okay.
bummy kind of look. The thrash metal guys, not the glam.
All right. So sophomore year, you found your inner female. Okay.
End of sophomore, beginning of junior.
So you're going into junior year. What did your life look like then?
So now we're 87, 88. Not doing any sports at all. Still in art. Still in the mechanical drawing / architecture thing because you're in that for like all 4 years.
You still doing Votech?
No. I only did it that 1 year. I think after doing the VOTEC and the wrestling, and with the amount of art and stuff, it was
Too
like
much.
I wanted some free time. Which, I mean, at that age, that's just stupid. You had plenty of free time. It's called your weekends. But I just, eh. So me and my now best friend were hanging out like all the time, like every day. He had a Camaro Z28, and we'd hop in that after school, sometimes during school. His parents owned a pizza shop that he still owns, and started working there on like Friday and Saturday nights. The other nights of the week, we were off doing, whatever, the mall or. He didn't smoke. I mean, he might have done it a couple times, but wasn't his thing. And drank like any normal teenager on the weekends and shit like that, but nothing. Not smoking like I was. Mine was a daily thing for years.
Which is ironic because now you can't stand it.
I can't stand the smell for some reason. Like
Yeah.
it's same as cigarette smoke. Like if I smell it, it just instantly puts me in a foul mood.
So anything specific happened your junior year?
Not that I remember. We just, I mean, we just had fun, just doing dumb shit, and you know, on the summer between junior and senior, we were going down the shore. Probably 3, 4 times, going down to Wildwood, stay for like a week. His parents would come down one week, and they would have an apartment. We'd go over there and hang out. Wrecked a few hotel rooms. Nothing, nothing major. Sophomore and junior year were pretty quiet.
All right, now you're going into your senior year of high school.
Yeah, that's when shit went sideways.
What happened senior year that changed everything?
I had now grown, and I'm now, instead of 5'8", 130, I'm 6'2", 190. Not muscular, but, you know, a lot more confidence. Plus, my friend at that time, best friend is, he was 5'8" and 250 and just a powerhouse, one of those people, could picked up like a 400-pound dude up off the ground and like pinned him against the lockers kind of power. So I didn't have anything to worry about. But I had gotten in a couple of fights. Don't ask me what they were over. I couldn't tell you. But getting in fights and, winning and stuff gives you confidence. So you start to, feel a little. It's a weird way of feeling better about yourself, but it's.
No, it makes sense because now
it-
you're not getting picked on; you're picking on people.
I wasn't picking
Well,
on
no,
them.
but-
They were mutual combat.
Yeah.
Like I didn't walk up to them and start swinging at them for no reason.
No, but before you didn't try to defend yourself, you just kind of let it happen. You started standing up for yourself, which is a huge thing.
And there were a couple other incidents where, oh, so and so's talking shit. They said they're gonna, and then I would see them in the hall, and there was one instance I remember just clocking that kid and almost got my ass whooped then because one of the senior basketball players or football player, I don't know what he was, but he was like 6'6", 280 80 or something. The halls were empty. I think it was during class, and I don't know why we were out, and I caught him and just hit him once and was going to hit him again. And the other senior, was like, "Yo, that's enough." And before I saw who it was, I was like, "Mind your own fucking business." And he's like, "What?" And I went, "Oh, all right." My bad.
I retract my words. I'm sorry. We will stop. The fight is now over.
I'm like, oops. So I at least knew my limitations. So I was, we had a small group, but it was pretty much me and best friend that hung around. Like, if you saw one of us in the hall, the other one was somewhere, either coming up or in the area somewhere. Like they said that stuff all the time.
Yeah, I don't think I recall seeing him at the shop very often without you there.
At that time?
Yeah.
Yeah. We were always like, if we weren't at the shop working, we were somewhere at night doing something. We just got along great. In high school in those early years after. But then I guess, I was getting in trouble a little bit here and there, nothing major. But then by November, December, we started to get into doing cocaine.
Our PSA for today, do not do drugs.
I am not condoning anything.
I didn't say where, I'm just saying, putting it out there. It was a different time, too.
Oh, no, it's the sole reason I didn't finish high school.
No, but
or one of them, let's put it that way.
But I'm saying the drugs themselves were different back then.
You didn't have to worry about fentanyl.
Right.
Nobody was doing heroin. We didn't know anybody that did heroin. We didn't know anybody that did painkillers. Everybody smoked pot, drank, did a little coke, and maybe there you had a few of your guys who did acid.
Okay, yeah.
Like, that was it. I didn't know anybody that did heroin. Didn't know anybody using pills. Just, if there were, I didn't know them.
Right.
They weren't.
It wasn't prevalent.
Yeah, it wasn't in my orbit. So it was probably like the end. It was like, I want to say it was before Christmas. Or, yeah, it was beginning of December. And how it actually got started was we were sitting around and I was talking about how my brother used to sell shit in school because they used to have a smoking lounge. So you could take a pack of cigarettes where they weren't cigarettes.
Right.
They were joints and then other stuff in there, and you could make a fortune during the time that you would go outside and catch a smoke in this little fenced-in like area or whatever.
Right.
So he assumed that I did coke, which maybe because I was skinny. I mean, I don't know. I wasn't that, and we had been already hanging around for like a year and a half solid at that point, so I think he would have known.
Yeah, if you were doing it, he should have picked up on it.
So he came over and he's like, "Oh, look." And I'm like, "What the hell's that?" He's like, "Coke." And I'm like, "Why?" He's like, "Don't you do it?" And I'm like, "No, never seen it." You were saying? I was like, "Yeah, my brother did it." I'm like, not me. So obviously we did it.
Why not?
I think the only thing we accomplished was numbing our throats and mouth and everything. And then it just, no pun intended, snowballed from there.
I was going to say spiraled, but okay.
Yeah, definitely snowballed. And I mean, I can see how people get addicted to it. Because, a dime bag is not enough for two people, and then it goes into an 8 ball, and or a gram, and
Yeah, I
then
was gonna say there's something between.
half a gram, a gram. 8 balls, 3.5 grams, I think, or it was at the time. I don't know. To the point where I know it got up into half an ounce at some point. I mean, the only thing I can say is that I've never spent any of my own money on it. Didn't have to. Everybody else was always had it around.
Do you think it would have changed if you had to spend your own money?
I wouldn't have. I was too busy buying pot.
But I guess that's kind of where I'm confused because one does not do the same as the other.
Yeah, they're complete opposites.
Yeah, so you would smoke pot and then do a line?
No.
Oh, okay.
You do a line and then smoke pot.
Why do the line? Because the pot's just going to bring you back down.
Well, you're not doing it immediately after. You're doing it later on because your heart's so jacked up and you need to get some sleep before you get school the next day. So
Or just not do the coke.
that's an option. I'm just telling you what what I did. You could also drink, and that would bring you down as well.
Right, because that's also a depressant.
Because there's a few things that you can't do when you're on coke, especially a lot of it. So you're going to need the alcohol or the weed, or you ain't doing shit. I would have never tried it, or I can't say. Well, I don't think I would have ever tried it if somebody hadn't have brought it around. It wasn't something I was looking for.
Okay.
Pot and hash, which hash is just a residue. That's as far as I went. I didn't even like drinking. It was something to do on the weekends. So I would say by February, March, it was getting bad. April, it was to the point of doing it in the car and then on the way to work and then having to stop at a fast food place, get a soda, snort the soda to clear your nose out. Driving with a razor blade in your mouth to get it all off of the razor blade so you didn't waste any money. Stuff where you could have swallowed it and just killed yourself. Stuff like that. But it got to a point where we just didn't care what was going on. It was just, let's just see how much we can do. Or that's how it felt. We didn't say it, but it got to the point where other people and were meeting at places, and everybody was bringing stuff, and you hear the stories about lines this long, and that's what was being done, and not one person was doing them, but cutting out stuff that on top of appliances and stuff, and trying to see how much you had and who could do the most, and just completely retarded because you're just asking for a heart attack or
Right.
your heart to explode. Which, there was plenty of times where it felt like that's what was going to happen. And that just led to more fights and more problems in school. One fight, a teacher got punched. In school suspensions, just leaving school at lunch and going and getting drunk at a restaurant, and then going who knows where. At the time, we had met these two girls that ended up being sisters at an arcade, and we were semi-dating them. Like, we would go over their house every now and then and do nothing. So we were always coked up or whatever. And then finally in May, about 4 months before graduation, I got called up to the superintendent's office or the head principal or whatever they're called. And got handed a piece of paper and said, "Here, go get 3 signatures and get off the property. Like, we've had enough of you. You're not going to graduate." So I was 18, and they were like, "Just, we need 3 teachers to sign this, and then get off to school before we have you, arrested for criminal trespassing." So I just went and got the 3 signed, and actually walked up to that girl's house, and then a friend came up and got me after school, and then we went back to his house, and there was a bunch of people there with beer and steak, and we barbecued and celebrated me getting kicked out of high school,
So,
which was another moronic thing.
well, yeah, I mean, looking back, would you have done anything your senior year different?
Well, yeah, I wouldn't have done coke.
I meant academically. Like, is there, I mean, part of you graduating was you couldn't do a public
Yeah.
speaking thing.
One of the main, yeah, that was part that I left out was the one history class. It was like 51% of your grade or something like that was an oral report, which I didn't do. I had done one in like 4th or 5th grade, and it was the worst experience of my life. Like that public speaking, getting up in front of people. I don't even remember. Like, it sounded like I was just babbling, and I got an A, but I don't know how because I don't remember what I said, and I was sweating, and or at least that's how I felt.
Okay.
Just that may have been my first panic attack back when I was like 8 or 9
It could have been.
or 10, whatever it was.
How did your mom take the news of you not graduating?
Yeah, she took it pretty hard. She was pissed. She was more upset and disappointed. She didn't get to see my brother walk, and it wasn't the fact that she wasn't going to get to see me walk. It was just the fact that you're an idiot. You just, you had perfect grades all this time, and you just screwed them up in like 6 months. And I was actually my senior year. I was close to committing to New York Institute of Technology, and I forget the other school that wanted me to come there for like architecture and art architecture, something like that. And then just like once I got into all this shit, I did just obviously blew all that stuff off. So she was more upset at that because it's like, well, what are you going to do now? It's like,
And that is what we're going to continue with after this. Post high school. We will be back with more of Brian's story.